not everybody's note is held in a place where you can get at it, right? A lot of big institutions were not really willing to sell mortgage notes one at a time. And that, created some problems in trying to help people. There's a lot of reasons why they don't want to sell these notes one at a time. What's been the problems in the past? Again, not everybody's note is held in a place where you can get at it, right? A lot of big institutions were not really willing to sell mortgage notes one at a time. And that, created some problems in trying to help people. George, you want to jump in? There's a lot of reasons why they don't want to sell these notes one at a time. What's been the problems in the past?
One is just inertia. History is that institutions sell their defaulted mortgages typically to other institutions, and that's historically how it's done. There's many reasons for this. It didn't have to be that way. If you think about REOs are typically sold individual one by one to real estate investors, but the notes, not the case. Here's the reasons why. And when we went to the institutions, they shared it. They said, hey, if we're selling 100 different notes to 100 different investors, that's 100 different know your customer checks. That's 100 different contracts. That's 100 different closings. It's just not worth it. We are going to just keep selling to institutions. And we were trying to find a solution, and we came up with one that everyone liked, which is we created a trust, a preREO trust with a trustee, with US Bank as the trustee. And that was the pivot that worked, because now we went back to those institutions and said, hey, this trust will provide the individual investors a participation interest in the loan or loans that they acquire that are held in the trust. But when you sell, instead of 100 different know your customer checks, 100 different customers, 100 different closings, it's one contract, one know your customer check, one contract. And with that, it worked. And so that was really the pivot. Wait, now this can work. So, but there's also big benefits for the investors, not just now I can buy notes, but also some states, roughly half the states in the country have laws that require that to hold and or enforce a mortgage in their state, you need a license. And it's not just a license you buy once. It's a license you have to pay for and do education to get, and then you have to renew it every year. And that was somewhat of a barrier we anticipated a barrier to smaller note investors, especially if they buy in multiple states. But the good news is, if a mortgage is held in a trust with a national bank trustee, that is exempt from these laws in all these states. That satisfies their requirements. And the other big benefit is now we can actually finance. Note-on-note financing, where a note is financed, is very unusual, especially for smaller transactions. Almost non-existent. I'd probably say non-existent. However, when it's held in a trust, it's very easy to provide the leverage. So now we provide 75% financing on every loan that is sold on preREO. And so between those elements, we've now put together something that is compelling and works really well.